Hello and welcome to the Light Show project. In this project you will be using 32 LEDs to create a beautiful light show. The flashing of the LEDs is controlled by a software program that you will write. This video will help you to make the project and to earn high marks for neatness. Make sure you review the rules for soldering safety before starting the project. Have fun and remember that safety comes first. So in this project you are going to be mounting your LEDs on a piece of cardboard, and your teacher is going to provide you with a template, and you're going to get a piece of cardboard and you're going to place your template over the cardboard, and you either get a sharp pencil or a sharp marker like this and trace all around the template. When you're done tracing, you have lines that you're going to cut around. Use some long sharp scissors, and I recommend you cut with this part of the scissors rather than the end of the blades. So you're going to open the scissors up wide and just start cutting right on the line carefully. Scissors tend to crush the cardboard along the edge. If you don't like that, you can hold your material down on a table with this part over the end of the table, and you can cut with a razor blade carefully, cutting away from you so that if the blade slips and goes right through, it's not going to hit your hand. It's going to miss your hand. It's not going to harm you or anybody else. If you decide to use a razor blade, make sure that you're the one holding your own work. You don't get somebody else to hold your work, because the blade might slip and cut them. So if you're going to use a razor blade, be very careful. Make sure that you cut away from yourself. And I'm not using the edge of a table, but I recommend that you use the edge of a table. So you just hold the end over the edge of the table with the blade underneath and just saw back and forth. Take your time and be very careful. Once you cut out your cardboard on the lines, it should look like this. Next step is to take a paper template. Your teacher should give this to you, and you're going to cut out all along the line in here, and in this triangle and this triangle. Once you cut that out with scissors, it should look like this. Next, I'm going to glue my paper template onto my cardboard. I'm going to use a liquid glue, but you don't need to use a liquid. You could use a glue stick. I've decided to use a liquid glue here, right along the edges. Pay extra attention to the circle part. That's the part that you need to be centered. And I'm just going to put a heavy book on top and let it dry. Now that the glue is dry, I'm going to have to do a few bends on the cardboard. First bend is going to be right along this line, and I do that by flipping it over, and you don't see the line anymore, but I know that the line runs from this point to this point, so I could just put a sharp object between the 2 points, push on it, and bend up. Now I've bent it on that line. Later on the project will be standing. Now I need to bend this side backwards. Again, I won't see the line once the cardboard is flipped over, but I know where the line is because it runs from this point to this point. So I'm just going to push to put a crease in, and then I'm going to put it over the edge of a table. And bend it down. And I'll do the same with the other side. Okay, now that I've done all my folding, I'm ready to punch holes to insert the LEDs. So I'm going to get a scrap piece of wood, and I'm just going to punch holes using a push pin exactly on the little black dots. Now I'm going to get my LEDs, and you can see that there is a flat spot indicating the cathode. So you're going to line up the cathode with the flat spot on the paper template. Also, the cathode is the short lead, right? So we're going to insert them the proper polarity. And I have my first bank of LEDs. Next, I'm going to connect the leads of the LEDs on the back of the cardboard. So remembering that the cathodes are on the right side when I'm looking at the front, when I flip it over, the cathodes are on the left side. So what I'm going to do for this demonstration, I'm going to just write A for anode and K for cathode. It's actually, you might think that the cathode is a C. We actually use a K to indicate cathode. And I'm going to do that for each LED. And, okay, you won't see. Okay, it's hard to see it on the last one. So now that I have my anodes and cathodes labeled, I'm going to create the circuit that I have here on my schematic, and these 4 LEDs that are circled with a broken line, this is my first line, and these are the 4 LEDs that we're working with. What I'm going to do first is these 2 LEDs, and if you'll notice, with these 2 LEDs, the anodes, both anodes are connected together, and both cathodes are connected together. So I'm going to do that now with the leads on my model. So here are the 2 LEDs I'm working with. I want the anodes to be connected together. I'm going to bend them towards each other. And I want the cathodes to be connected together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the anodes, I'm going to bend it around the middle into an L, and I'm going to take the other one and bend it right over the L. Now I'm going to close this, the L shape, and then I'm going to snip off the excess lead. And with the cathode side, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, form an L shape, take the other lead, put it right over, and snip the excess lead. My cutters are not working very well today. Okay, so we have anode to anode, cathode to cathode. Again, that's exactly what we have here. Anode to anode, cathode to cathode.